Those are fresh live visuals coming from outside the international airport in Philadelphia, where you can see the Indian diaspora has thronged the international airport, all waiting to greet the Prime Minister. He's shaking hands with many of them, also signing autographs and pictures over there. High-level security, as you can witness at the Philadelphia International Airport. Expect Prime Minister to arrive in Wilmington in Delaware, where he will be hosted to the Quad Summit by the US President. In fact, the Indian community has gathered there in full strength. They've also planned a grand welcome for the Prime Minister in Wilmington, and that will be at the hotel where the Prime Minister is residing. Let's quickly go back. I'd like to bring you in. Prime Minister very much at the Philadelphia International Airport now, and of course going to be in Delaware in a short while from now. Half an hour's drive is what it will take to get there, and we should be expecting the Quad Summit to get underway. But I think in terms of timing, it's also going to be a very emotional one, considering this is his first visit to the United States during his third tenure. Also, we know that the US President is going to be stepping down, as will be the Japanese Prime Minister. What can we now expect from Prime Minister's own personal connect with the Indian diaspora, considering we've seen him make 5 visits already in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I think this is his 9th visit, if I'm not mistaken, since he has become Prime Minister. I think the only other country that he's visited more than the United States is the UAE. So I think it would be in the top 3 or 4 countries that the PM has visited as Prime Minister in the last 10 years plus. This is his first visit in the 3rd term. And the fact that, he's going all the way to Delaware, the hometown, the home state, in fact, of President Biden, and this Quad Summit is being hosted there by President Biden, hosting the leaders of Australia, Japan and India. I think, it's a farewell summit for President Biden. People talk about his long and illustrious career, his last 4 years as president, 8 years as vice president under Obama, but he was also the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, for a very, very long time, through much of the 90s and the early 2000s. And Ambassador Kaju knows this. That was a very tumultuous time for the India-US relationship. We had the nuclear tests. America had blacklisted India and Indian companies for a long time. It took the Clinton visit in the early 2000s for a semblance of normalcy to return. There was, of course, the Jaswant Singh and Strobe Talbot talks. Eventually, one positive thing, one very appealing thing about this relationship, no matter who is in the White House, no matter who is in 7RCR, whether it is a Democrat or a Republican, and here in India, whether it's somebody from the BJP or somebody from the Congress, the trajectory of this relationship has only deepened. The breadth of this relationship has only widened. And I think, as President Obama said when he came here a few years ago, this is going to be the most consequential relationship of the 21st century. Let's be absolutely clear about it. Yes, I do agree in part with Ambassador Kaju's point that America, militarily speaking, only trusts its Anglo-Saxon partners, but they're not going to be of any use tomorrow if there's a war that breaks out between Taiwan and China, or tomorrow if China, muscles its way through into one of the islands in the Philippines. The Anglo-Saxon countries are not the ones who are going to be the most affected. The ones who are going to be most affected are the countries in the Indo-Pacific. So I think right from, in fact, George Bush's time, and there's this famous incident which one of the envoys back then, who was a Bush appointee, had said this. President Bush had a very, very earthy way of looking at the world. He took a globe, rotated it, and he said, look, our single biggest challenge is going to be China. What is the other one big country that you see around China's neighborhood that can be used as a counterweight? There is only one, and that is India. The reason why it's taken so long, 20 years, for this relationship to reach where it has today, the breadth and the depth, is because of inhibitions from our own side. India has had, and very genuine inhibitions about the nature of this relationship, some areas of this relationship. And may I say, some of that still continues. I mean, we haven't addressed it because I guess we will have enough time in the next 2 or 3 days to talk about it. But this whole business about the Khalistan stuff, this is a very, very big raw nerve for India. And the fact that, a US court, are you telling me suddenly out of nowhere issues a a summons to the National Security Advisor of India 2 days before the Prime Minister lands there. I don't think that's a coincidence. That is a fundamental sticking point in the relationship, but I'll keep that aside. I think today, the Quad Summit, and tomorrow when the Prime Minister addresses the Diaspora, and then on Monday when he addresses the Summit of the Future, where basically, let's be very, very clear about this. The world needs to find a way to end these two wars, Russia-Ukraine and Israel-Hamas. That is the most pressing thing in the world right now. And whoever it takes, in whatever manner it takes, they have to find a way to put an end to these two wars. As far as the Quad is concerned, like I said, this is a farewell summit for President Biden. Cancer research is going to be something, one big announcement that they will be making. I think, and you can check on this, President Biden has been at the forefront of cancer research because I think one of his closest family members died to cancer. So this is something that is very close to his heart. But again, you know, different people can have different views on this. I don't think the purpose of Quad or the raison d'etre of Quad is cancer research, but I guess, you know, we can always disagree.
Professor Q.
Make informed decisions with comprehensive analysis on the go.
Strengthen your portfolio with real-time market updates on the go. Create effective strategies with insightful expert opinions on the go.
Grow on the go with CNBC TV 18. Now streaming live 24/7 on YouTube.
Hey, thank you for watching this on CNBC TV 18. Hope you liked it. For more such interesting news and updates, follow CNBC TV 18 on all the social media platforms.